Alright, it's Mr. Bernay. We're going to look at the inequality test. I'm going to take you through each problem, and what I want you to do is follow along and look at your work on your page and see if you got the question correct or incorrect. And if you missed the question, what I want you to do on the blank piece of paper that I stapled to your test, I want you to copy the work down that I show in the video. So basically make the correction to your work. And then also I want you to provide a brief description of why you got the problem incorrect. So you can compare your work to my work that I'll show you, and hopefully you'll be able to see the mistake that you made and just write a brief summary of what that mistake was on your paper. Alright, so the first part is just graphing. So it gives us the inequality. So like x is less than 5, and asks you to graph. So I'm going to make my graph. I have a 0 there. Maybe I'll put a 5 here. So I see that it's less than symbol, not less than or equal to, so my circle is going to be open at 5. Open circle. X is less than, so I'm going to shade to the left. Shade to the left. Alright, that's it for that first question. Second question is very similar. I'm going to graph my -2 here. And this time, however, it's less than or equal to, so my circle will be closed. Closed circle and then shaded to the left because x is less than -2. The less than is to the left. Number 3, -4 is my number. Put it on the graph. X is less than -4. Since it's less than and not less than or equal to, my circle will be open because it does not include -4. And x is less than, so I shade to the left. Number 4, x is less than or equal to 3. So I'm going to draw my 3 on my graph. Closed circle because it has an equal sign underneath. It says x is less than or equal to 3, so I'm going to shade to the left. A lot of you missed this question. A lot of you shaded to the right here. And I think maybe the reason why you did that was because the x was on the right side in this problem. But if you look at it, this says x is less than or equal to 3. Another way of saying that is 3 is greater than or equal to x. So you need to shade to the left there because x is less than or equal to 3. And the less than is to the left. Alright, so that first part, each question was worth 1 point. You got 1 point or a half point for your circle being either closed or open, and a half point for the graph facing the correct direction. So that was 4 points total. Alright, moving on to the next section. Here it asks you to solve, so we're solving the inequality. Make sure you show your inverse operations for full credit. Circle the answer. So inverse operations means, so like for this one, since 8 is being added to x, you're going to do the opposite. -8, -8. Whatever you do on the left side, you have to do on the right side. Those cancel out, so you get x is greater than or equal to -4 minus 8 is -12. Okay, I didn't need to flip any symbols there because I just subtracted. I didn't multiply or divide. You only flip the symbol when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Since I'm just subtracting there, I don't have to flip anything. So that's how you show your work. Number 6, I'm going to try a pencil now, see if that shows up. So to get rid of that -3, I'm going to add 3. So do that to both sides. -5 plus 3 is -2. Copy everything else down. My last step, since I'm multiplying by 2, I need to divide both sides by 2. Those cancel out. I get x less than or equal to -1. Again, I'm not flipping here. I did divide this time, but I'm dividing by a positive number, so I didn't have to flip the symbol. If this denominator here, the bottom number, if that would have been a negative, I would have had to flip the inequality, but since it's a positive 2, I didn't need to flip. Alright, that's number 6. Number 7, negative 12 is less than x minus 10, so we're going to solve, add 10 to both sides. Negative 2 is less than x. So that's it, just one step. Again, didn't need to flip anything because I'm just adding to both sides. Didn't multiply or divide. Alright, number 8. I'm going to start by subtracting 8 from both sides. So we get 2x is greater than negative 8. The next step is divide by 2. X is greater than negative 4. Again, make sure you show these inverse operations. And I divided by a positive there, so I didn't need to flip my symbol. A lot of you flipped unnecessarily, you know, like on these problems here. So far, none of these I've had to flip. Now, a lot of you did flip, even though you didn't need to. Only flip the symbol when you multiply or divide by negative. So like this one, my one step is to divide by negative 3. So since I divided by a negative, I need to flip the symbol. So instead of x is less than, x is greater than or equal to negative 5. Alright, so one step on that one, just to divide by negative 3, and since I divided by a negative, that means I had to flip the symbol. Alright, next problem is another two-step problem. I'm going to add 3.4 to both sides. Those cancel out. 5.6 plus 3.4 equals 9. 1.8x on one side, 9 on the other side. So my last step is to divide both sides by 1.8. And I'm dividing by a positive here, so I don't need to flip my symbol. 9 divided by 1.8 is 5. X is greater than 5. Alright, so for these, there are my answers. And I showed all my work. Showed the inverse operations. Didn't need to graph these, just needed to solve. So please, if you missed any of these questions, go ahead and take a look at my work and copy down what I have and then explain why you missed the question. Alright, so let's look at the back side. Oh, by the way, these problems here on part 2, 5 through 10, these were worth 2 points. So you got 1 point for a correct answer and 1 point for showing your work. So if you have a -1 and you showed your work, that means that your answer is incorrect. If you didn't show any work and your answer was incorrect, then you got a -2. Alright, so each of those were worth 2 points. The final section, which is the back page, each one of these is worth 3 points. So now you get 1 point for your correct answer, 1 point for showing your work, and 1 point for graphing the problem as well. Solve and graph. Make sure you show your work. Circle your answer. Alright, so here again we're solving and graphing. This is a one-step equation. I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. So we get x is greater than negative 16 divided by 4, which is negative 4. Alright, so I'm going to make my graph. Just need a couple numbers on here, just to show me that you know where negative 4 is on the number line. Open circle at negative 4, since it's a greater than symbol. And I'm going to shade to the right. It says x is greater than negative 4. Alright, number 12. X over 2 is greater than 10. Since x is being divided by 2, the inverse operation is to multiply both sides by 2. So times 2. That's not 2x, it's times 2. And then times 2 over here. So x by itself on the left side is greater than 10 times 2, which is 20. So that's my answer. I'm going to put 20 on the number line. It says x is greater than 20, so I'm going to do open circle at 20, since it's not greater than or equal to. X is greater than, so I'm going to shade to the right. Alright, so that's number 11 and 12. Again, those were 3 points. 1 point for showing your work, 1 point for correct answer, 1 point for correct graph. Alright, 2 more. Number 13, this is a two-step inequality now. First step is to subtract 8 from both sides, trying to get 2x by itself on one side. 2x is greater than 0. Next step is divide both sides by 2. Get x by itself is greater than 0 divided by 2, which is 0. Again, we're dividing by positive numbers, so we did need to flip the symbol. If we would have divided by a negative, we would have had to flip the symbol. But since this is a positive 2, no need to flip the symbol. Alright. X is greater than 0. So, open circle at 0, shade to the right. Last one. Trying to get 4n by itself on one side. It's another two-step inequality. I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. Those cancel out. Now I'm left with negative 4n. A lot of you forgot to bring down that negative sign there. So that's what I'm left with on the left side. 20 minus 16 is 4 on the right side. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. So we get n. Now since I've divided by a negative there and here, I need to flip the symbol. Anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the symbol. So my answer is n is greater than or equal to negative 1. And the reason why is because I flipped the symbol, because I divided by a negative. Alright, I'm going to put it on the number line now. Close circle at negative 1, because it's greater than or equal to. Shading to the right, because n is greater than or equal to negative 1. Alright, again, these are worth 3 points apiece. 1 for correct answer, 1 for showing your work, 1 for a correct graph. And please, if you miss a question, go back, look at how it's done, look at my work, copy what I have, and give me an explanation of why you missed the problem. Alright, good luck.